Government Minister Guy insisted is determined to make the most out of the sector, but this hinges on a number of conditions.
The growth and development of the fisheries sector depends on the sustainable exploitation of the resources and the ability of quality fish products for human consumption. The operation of this jetty will greatly increase fish landing and create employment.
In her statement, the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Dr. Aissatou Njie Saidi, argued that whilst the artisanal fisheries subsector continues to flourish, as seen in the increase in fish production and decrease in post-harvest losses, the industrial fisheries subsector, regrettably, has not lived up to expectations as a result of operational inadequacies and lack of fishing trawlers. Dr. Njie Saidi also cited depleting fish stocks caused by overfishing and use of inappropriate fishing methods as major concerns for government, saying appropriate regulations have been put in place to check these excesses.
Cognizant of the need for better conservation and rational exploitation of our fish stocks, my government enacted the Fisheries Regulations of 2008. And of course, I am now conducting sensitization and capacity building activities at the levels with a view to strengthening surveillance of both our inland and coastal waters.
The Vice President therefore welcomed the opening of the jetty and called on the private sector to fully participate in the development of the fisheries sector as government has created the enabling environment. The construction of this fisheries jetty was funded by the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADIA, the African Development Bank, and the Gambia government at a cost of $14 million. It took almost 4 years to complete and has the capacity to handle more than a dozen boats and fishing trawlers at a time, something that would potentially increase fish production, thus enhancing food sustainability and national development. Mamadou Diallo, reporting from the fisheries jetty here in Banjul for GRTS News.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Jammeh Foundation for Peace, Modulamin Manga, recently took delivery of a donation of 100 kilos of sesame from a women's association called Woningoto, which means we are one in Fula. The gesture, according to President of the association, Adam Majalo, is the body's contribution to the efforts of the foundation. Fatou Jassi has the rest of that story.
Goto Women Association, fuller acronym meaning Let's Unite, in Old Yundum has answered to the President's call of Back to the Land to grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Speaking at the presentation ceremony, the President of the association, Adam Majalo Jammeh, said their association is not only engaged in farming, but also tie and dye and soap making to be economically empowered and contribute to national development. These sesame proceeds they are presenting to Jammeh Foundation, she added, was a sign of solidarity and love for President Jammeh in supporting the needy and less privileged through the foundation. The Alcalde of Sinju Alaji Salifu Sise, who doubled as the honorary father of the association, commended the association for answering to President Jammeh's Back to the Land call and urged others to emulate them. Abdul Faye, on behalf of the Alcalde of Yundum, also spoke well of the Woningoto Association, adding that if many associations of this nature are existing, it would contribute immensely to national development. For her part, Hadi Jallo thanked the members of the association for working with one voice to achieve their shared objective. To the government, she called for more support in their areas such as tractors and boreholes to improve their productivity. Receiving the 2 bags of sesame, Mamadou Lamin Manga of Jammeh Foundation thanked the association for the gesture and assured that it will be put into good use.
We are very happy to be here today receiving these items on behalf of the Vice President. And we want to say very big thank you to the people of this village. And we want to say that they've listened to the call of the President, that we should all go back to the land. Whoever tells you go back to the land and the end benefit, it's yourself, I think the President has done it for all of us. So we have to say a very big thank you to the President. This has not happened before, but now we're seeing societies coming up, going to the land, farming, and you've stated earlier that all of you benefited from these soybeans.
For GRTS News, I am Fatou Jassi.
The African Network for Information and Action Against Drugs, RAID, together with the Ministry of Health and WHO Country Office, recently organized a day's validation workshop. Participants were tasked to scrutinize the National Tobacco Control Document, which seeks to ensure effective and efficient tobacco interventions in the Gambia. Famara Fofana reports.
Smoking is blamed for the arrest of over 6 million lives globally every other year, a figure confirmed by the World Health Organization report. Out of this number, over 600,000 deaths are said to be passive smokers. The report maintains that the situation is worst in third world countries. In its stride to reduce cigarette smoking in the Gambia, the African Network for Information and Action Against Drugs project worked towards drastically reducing tobacco products in the country by putting an additional 3% tax on all tobacco products importation. It could be recalled that in 2011, the United Nations held a meeting in New York where the effects of tobacco use on the health of the world population, among other things, were discussed. One of the key resolutions that came out of that meeting was to intensify and increase resource mobilization and allocation to tobacco control measures.
UN agencies and state parties have committed themselves to consider the prevention and education of tobacco use as a development priority. And the Gambia signed WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. We are signatory to that convention. Article 26 of FTC stated that all state parties should recognize important role that financial resources play in achieving the objective of the convention.
Smoking harms nearly every organ of the body. It causes many diseases and reduces the health of smokers in general. Smoking also increases chronic heart diseases, stroke, lung cancer, and kidney as well. A campaign to eliminate smoking is therefore a worthy cause for humanity. With a recent study also showing that 1 out of the adult population smokes about 10 sticks of cigarette per day, increased tobacco taxation seems to be the remedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the degree of smoking among the adult population is also of great concern. An average adult Gambian male aged 25 to 64 years smokes about 10 sticks of cigarettes a day. This is indicative of a very high level of cigarette consumption in the country and needs intervention such as development campaign, the main focus of which is to lobby for funds for effective and efficient tobacco control interventions.
Anti-cigarette smoking crusaders say the 3% tax generated from tobacco products will be allocated to the non-communicable diseases unit of the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare for tobacco control activities, all in a bid to make the Gambia a tobacco-free nation. Famara Fofana, Grts.
We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia after the break.
RLG Communications Gambia Limited wishes you all a Ramadan Mubarak. This Ramadan, RLG offers you a gift with every phone or laptop you buy. Gifts include dates, sugar, mugs, milk, and pens. Visit our showroom on 62 Caraba Avenue, opposite the Pipeline Mosque. Or you can find our sales agents at St. Teresa's Upper Basic School, Chippa Garage Car Park, at Westfield, or in Banjul opposite the Albert Market main gate. Please call 437.
Welcome back. The initial round of talks between Palestinian and Israeli negotiators got off to a promising start, but the two sides are separated by differences, with priorities taking turns between security and borders. And investigators probing Spain's recent deadly train crash have finally listened to the black box and confirmed that the conductor was talking on the phone with railway officials during the crash. CFI has details of those and other stories in this roundup.
Of peace talks between the Israelis and Palestinians went off well in Washington. However, there is still much they do not agree on. Israelis, led by Tzipi Livni, want to talk about security arrangements first. The Palestinians, led by Saeb Erekat, want to talk about borders. Negotiations could go on for 9 months. Finally, the black boxes from the train in Spain have been listened to. At the moment of the accident, the conductor was talking on the phone with railroad officials. He was apparently looking at a map while flying along at 190 kilometers an hour. At the curve in the track, he braked sharply, but even 150 kilometers an hour was too fast for the zone. The conductor has admitted he braked too late. After the deaths of 79 people, he has been charged with multiple counts of